full days of action. Athletes at Hayward Field are taking a break today and tomorrow. Good evening. I'm Kendall Bartley. Alan Matthews is on assignment. The 2020 Olympic trials will start back up on Thursday, and we have team coverage for you tonight. NBC 16's Angelina Dixon joins us in the studio to talk about the boost in local business during the trials. But first, NBC 16 sports anchor Hayden Herrera live at Hayward Field after speaking with an Oregon track legend about one of the more intriguing events, which is coming up later this week. Hayden.
Hey, Kendall. Yeah, all is quiet here at Hayward Field for now, but the action will resume on Thursday with 12 events, including the first round of the men's 1,500 meters, an event that has seen a former Duck finish in the top 3 in the last 2 Olympic trials. To the last 3 Olympic trials. Back in 2016, it was Matthew Centrowitz that took the win and secured a spot to Rio, where he would win Olympic gold. 5 years later, and Centrowitz is still considered by many to be the favorite to win this week, running 3:35 last month. But who better to ask than someone that went to the Olympics in 2012 with Centrowitz himself? I talked with former Duck and 2-time Olympian Andrew Weeding to see how his former teammate could perform this week.
With the last year, you're not quite sure where everyone's fitness is, and finally people come out and it's like a gamble. It's like showing your cards, and it's great because Matt had all this skepticism, and Central comes out and drops his 335 looking smooth, and all of a sudden it's like, you can't bet against the champ, all right? He's a gold medal winner for a reason.
But it's not just former Ducks that will be competing in the men's 1,500. The dynamic duo of Cooper Tier and Cole Hawker, current Oregon runners, they'll also try for a spot in Tokyo. Now, I asked Andrew about their chances. We'll hear from him again tonight at 5:30. But for now, from Hayward Field, I'm Hayden Herrera. Let's send it back to the studio.
Thanks, Hayden. Well, NBC 16's Angelina Dixon joins us now. The Olympic trials have brought in thousands of athletes and fans from all over, and that has been a welcome sight for local businesses.
That's right, Kendall. Even small cafes are serving a lot more customers. Jazzy Ladies in downtown Eugene is only able to seat 3 tables indoors, but a majority of people have been dining outside. The owner, Michelle Reed, says they've seen at least a dozen athletes with their families and plenty of fans. They've even gotten a little help from neighboring businesses.
We're still limited to just 3 tables indoors, but our neighbors have been really gracious and allowed us to put tables in front of their businesses, so it's been working out okay for us. Yeah, we're full most days and have a waiting list, so it's been great.
The Olympic trials is not only the boost our local restaurants will see. Coming up tonight at 5:30, the cafe is still seeing a challenge that has been widespread in our area. Kendall.
All right, thank you so much, Angelina. Well, the Olympics are set to start in Japan in a month. Tokyo 2020 organizers say they plan to allow only a limited number of fans due to the pandemic, but fans will not be allowed to cheer, and they could still be banned if the COVID situation changes. NBC 16's Chapman Bell reports.
Well, with a month to go before these Olympic Games begin, organizers have announced there will be fans. But there will also be rules. No cheering, shouting, even speaking loudly, and masks will need to be worn. Venues will be allowed to be open to spectators up to 50% capacity, up to 10,000 fans in these venues. These will be domestic fans, as international fans were already banned earlier in the year due to the pandemic. Japanese officials have said that should the pandemic worsen, they still could ban spectators from the stands, but there will be people at this point watching the games, and they will be able to see an Olympic first, as New Zealand weightlifter Laurel Hubbard is set to be the first openly transgender athlete to compete in the Olympic Games. And with just about a month to go before these games begin, I'm sure they will be thinking of ways that they can make some noise for this athlete and all the others who have waited an extra year to compete in the games, so that this can be a safe Olympics, but hopefully not a completely silent Olympic Games. Chapman Bell, NBC News, London.
Moving on to weather now. It's the start of summer and the heat continues to climb here in Western Oregon. And NBC 16 Chevy Chevalier joins us live from Hayward Field. Chevy, we've technically gone down in temperatures, but I'm sure that you are still trying to stay cool down there.
It's 88 degrees, Kendall. You know, I had a friend who was a meteorologist, worked for a power company, not here but somewhere else. And he would tell them, you know, when to expect cold waves and heat waves, so they can plan on the heat and how much air conditioning would be running, that kind of thing. I would tell the power company this weekend is a good weekend to expect a lot of air conditioners to be running. If not today, it's 88 degrees in Eugene. It's 88 degrees in Roseburg. And this weekend, I got triple digits, not only for Roseburg, but for Eugene as well. And we're going to talk about that because the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, are definitely weather alert days. How hot's it going to get? We have an excessive heat warning to talk about. We'll do all that with a complete weather in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Chevy. Well, we're seeing the direct impact of recent legislation. In January, the Oregon legislature allocated $4 million to the state fire marshal's office. The money is being used in part for repositioning, and that is exactly what's happening right now. 2 wildfire strike teams, for the Portland area, are now in Central Oregon as a preventative measure should a fire break out. The Washington County team includes firefighters from Tualatin Valley, Banks, and Hillsborough.
They won't be exclusively staying in Deschutes County. That's kind of our staging area. So if they are needed, say we get a fire down in South Central Oregon, they can quickly move that way. If they get one in Eastern Oregon, they could head that way.
It's important to note the Oregon Department of Forestry says historically the highest fire activity is from June to September. Fire season has already officially started in several parts of the state. The S503 fire, which is burning on the Warm Springs Reservation, is now about 10% contained. It's grown to more than 6,000 acres. 250 personnel are working on the front lines. Today, crews are working to strengthen the perimeter lines. They're also preparing for wind and possible thunderstorms in the area. Oregon State Police are asking for help regarding the triple homicide in Coos County that happened last Friday. They're trying to figure out how the suspect was able to get to Springfield after crashing his truck near Nodi on Highway 126. Investigators say Owen Nicholson forced a woman from Springfield to drive him across the country. He later surrendered in Wisconsin on Sunday. OSP tells us they believe Nicholson somehow got a ride from the Nodi area to Springfield. They want anyone with information to contact them. Tonight, the Coquel Indian Tribe will hold a prayer ceremony for those killed in last week's triple homicide. The ceremony will be at 5:30 tonight at the Mill Casino. The ceremony is open to everyone in the community. New at 5, the Coos Bay North Bend area is about to get a big boost in tourism as the 3A and 4A basketball state championship starts Thursday. The area normally hosts the annual 3A basketball championship in March, but with a COVID-altered sports season, it's happening this week. The same number of teams are coming to the area, but from 2 different divisions.
So there are 4 girls from the 4A, 4 girls from the 3A, and the same for the boys, 4 Final Four, 3A, Final Four. So we have the same amount of schools that have come, that normally come.
And Coos Bay's very own Marshfield High School is fighting for their spot in the 4A boys Final Four tonight as they play Gladstone. Fan capacity will be limited to 50% at both the North Bend and Marshfield High School gyms. Now, if a fan shows proof of vaccination, they'll get a wristband to be mask-free. Otherwise, masks are required. Coming up tonight at 5:30, how the tournament will help the post-pandemic recovery. Today, Oregon lawmakers in the House took up a bill that would allow student athletes to get paid. The Senate already passed it. Now it would enable college athletes at public and private universities to make money through things like endorsement deals and appearance fees. Now this story is still developing, but we'll keep you posted. Turning now to coronavirus coverage, new county risk levels take effect this Friday, and according to the governor, this will be the last time her office will assign levels. So that means counties will be stuck in whatever risk level they're in right now, or will begin later this week, until the entire state reopens. Polk County moved to low risk today. Jefferson, Klamath, and Marion counties will move to moderate on Friday. Douglas and Lynn counties, along with 4 others, are left in high risk. 68.7% of Oregonians, have received at least one dose of the vaccine. So that means 42,000 people still need to get a first dose to reach the 70% threshold to reopen the state. Over in Washington, D.C., the White House COVID response team acknowledges the U.S. will not meet President Biden's goal of 70% vaccination by July 4th. The U.S. has already met that marker for adults 30 and older, but younger Americans aren't getting vaccinated as quickly as their elders.
The reality is many younger Americans have felt like COVID-19 is not something that impacts them, and they've been less eager to get the shot. However, with the Delta variant now spreading across the country and infecting younger people worldwide, it's more important than ever that they get vaccinated.
It's expected 70% of adults 27 and older will be vaccinated by the holiday. 175 million Americans have received at least one dose of the vaccine. 150 million are fully vaccinated. Everyone 12 and older is eligible to receive a free vaccine, and there's enough supply for everyone. Taking a look now at the latest release on COVID cases in the state, the Oregon Health Authority reporting 267 new cases and one new death today. The case total statewide is now over 207,000, and the death toll is now at 2,757. Coming up next on NBC 16 News at 5, Oregon lawmakers have passed a rental assistance bill that would help struggling tenants. The next step for the amendment.
Backside 540 ollie.
The U.S. Olympic skateboarding team was just announced yesterday. Hear more from the 12 athletes skating their way to Tokyo. Plus, Western Oregon is experiencing the heat this week. A complete forecast with NBC 16 Chevy Chevalier live from Hayward Field.